Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of What Women Be. I want you. What
Do the
number
truffle
is this?
shuffle.
What is that?
I'm
Oh, is
sorry.
that what? Is that
Wait,
what?
Did you just ask me what the truffle shuffle
Is that from Goonies?
Yes.
Aww.
That's why I did the Hey You Guys.
Hey you guys, I love it. Sean Astin, gotta have him on. We gotta have him on soon.
It was his birthday this week.
It was his birthday. I know. I posted him a little. I posted everyone like a day late. Beth Broderick,
That's okay.
Aunt Zilda,
Better
and then
late
Sean.
than never.
I know. I meant to, but I was like trying to find the right picture. And then I get distracted by Instagram and I forget to post.
That was such a cute picture of y'all.
Of me
You
and Sean. He's my doll. I love
cute.
him. He's my.
Is he as nice as he looks?
Oh my God! Like nicer. Like
Really?
you can't even imagine how nice that guy is. But speaking of nice, tell me about what you did last week.
I have been gallivanting the United States, really the Western United States,
Without children.
with sans
With your
children,
lover.
with the brain,
Yeah.
and it was glorious. A whole week, the first time we've ever done that since having children, and I feel like a new human.
Yeah, I bet.
I slept.
Was re-entry really hard?
No.
No?
No, I mean, I was sad to leave, but like we were getting to the point
you
where
missed your kids.
We were missing the kids. They were ready for us to come home. And it was just time. Like we'd had the best possible everything.
Tell everybody what you did.
So we started in Sausalito, California, which is right there on the San Francisco Bay. Beautiful. This place called the Inn Above Tide, which I've talked about before, is my absolute favorite hotel to stay at ever. And it's right on the water. They bring your breakfast to your room, but they just will like leave it outside the door.
Nice.
They'll just knock and leave it there. And so
Have you ever been to the Baccara?
No.
I just wonder if it's like that. That's where we conceived Mason on my birthday. So just you just bringing back memories of the Baccara. Sorry, go on.
So you can sit on your patio or balcony that literally hangs over the water and eat your breakfast as the sun comes up with the seals in the water.
And no children at your feet going, Mom, make me pancakes. Mom, I hate your eggs. Mom.
None of that. It was glorious.
By the way, you notice all my children's sounds are now boys. Like,
well,
I used to do children like this. Now
that's
I'm
what
like,
you got. Now you got big old masculine men, man. So we did a day trip to Napa,
Ooh.
which we discovered we're not really wine country people. We
You're
enjoy
not really drinkers.
Not really, no. We do like a glass of wine occasionally. And so some friends hooked up this like wine tasting at this tiny little winery. And it was awesome. We had a great time. We ordered a bunch of wine to bring home. And that was about it for us. We hit up Shandon and this really cool restaurant where we ate in a yurt.
Oh, yes. I saw those pictures.
That was a fun experience. And then
Yurts are big in California.
the yurts are big.
Big. I mean, my son went to school on the California side of Lake Tahoe, and they did math in a yurt.
So
It's like that's like the thing. So like my friend Soleil has a yurt where she
of
does
course
a lot
she
of
does.
meditating.
That totally
I
fits.
love it.
So then we headed down to Palm Springs for a couple nights, and we rented this adorable little mid-century house. And I mean, the house itself is adorable. It really hasn't been touched since it was built in the 60s, so it's very vintage feeling, and they've done it all with, antique furniture, so it just fills the vibe. But the backyard, that's why you're there. It's got this beautiful
Those
little
pictures.
triangle-shaped pool overlooking the mountains and the desert, and a beautiful back porch kind of like built on the hill so you can just look out into the wilderness. It is unbelievable. I posted the pictures that we took on our anniversary, and
It was your 15-year anniversary.
15
That's why you were there,
years.
right?
Yes.
And then your husband surprised you, and I got really mad at my husband because I showed him this. I was like, "Look what Logan does for her." What did your husband plan you that was a surprise?
After Palm Springs, we drove across the desert. We did Route 66 to Vegas, which was super fun. It was just like a 4-hour drive. It wasn't bad at all. And we drive into Vegas, and it's snowing of all things, which I've never heard of.
It has been some bizarre weather across the country.
The weather was chasing us everywhere we went. We had beautiful weather, and then we'd go to leave, and it would get bad. And so, but going into Vegas, it was snowing, and that was fine, whatever. So Logan had told me, he's like, I'm going to plan a whole day, and you just need to trust me. And I was like, okay, that's fine. He's great at that. So
Yeah.
I had no issues with that. And
Maybe Logan could plan a day for Mark to plan for
that
me.
he can do that. He should start a service. Husbandry services.
I like it. I like it.
He said he's tried.
Oh, let's do that. Mark's a little bit of a Mark's either all in or all out on the romance department. Like there have been years when I've gotten like I was shooting the movie Holiday in Handcuffs up in Calgary, and Mark came up for Valentine's Day. I asked for that one day off. He came up. I had Mason with me, and Mark came up and he brought with him Sprinkles cupcakes, which are like my favorite in California. He brought me beautiful lingerie, the first iPod or what, right? Like an iPod. He wrote this beautiful card, all this poetry on it, whatnot. And he's like, and I have an ab lounger for you at home when you get back home. Like he had all these gifts for me, right? Like all this stuff. The next year, I was like, oh, I really need to step it up. Like last year, I think I, got him some cute little gift and a card. So I stepped it up the next year and got him some big gift. He got nothing, not even a card, with nothing. So with Mark, it's like all or nothing, and you just don't know what to predict. It's
that's what makes him unique, though.
I guess he keeps me on my toes. Wait, so go on. So your big day that he planned.
I told him, I was like, I need to know what to like pack. What do I wear for these things? And so
comfy shoes.
Well, he didn't tell me comfy shoes. He just said closed toe.
Okay.
And I was like,
wow.
Okay.
That could be that would put my brain into we're going to a racetrack.
I didn't know where it was going, so luckily I packed pants for the occasion because if I had been in
you wore hard pants.
Stretchy hard pants.
Did you wear stretchy hard pants? Okay,
yeah, they kind of count. They're like
you're like allergic
trousers,
to hard pants these days.
Everybody's allergic to hard pants.
It's true.
It's true. Nobody wants to wear them. No, who wants a waistband? No one.
It's true.
So I wore the pants and my sparkly butterfly jacket because he was like, you want something very Vegas.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I had planned to wear that to Katy Perry, but I wore something else because he was like, maybe save that. I was like, okay. So got all dressed up. I was wearing my silver cowboy boots with my trousers and my sparkly jacket. And so first stop of the day, this is like 11 a.m. We're leaving the hotel and I'm in sequins. So, it's always going to be a bright start.
You're always in sequins, let's be honest.
Well, it's true. Every time's a good time for sparkle. So we go to another resort and we're walking through just like all these hallways and stuff. I was like, do you know where we're going? He's like, yeah, there's supposed to be an escalator over here. And before we get to the escalator, I see Kiss World. And I look at him and I was like, really? We're going to Kiss World? He was like, we're not, but I'm glad you think that. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. So we turn and go up this escalator, and at the very top of the escalator is the wedding chapel. And he was like, ta-da! And they come out and welcome us in, and he had it all planned out. And it looks like a concert stage, except for, the heart shape and the, what do you call it, lighting rig. It was really cute. And I think that's like the greatest surprise ever and so cute. And we're going to renew our vows. And
just the two of you. Who were the witnesses?
Well, they have people there, like that work there that will be your witness. And so I just thought, okay, next person who's going to come out is going to be a Kiss impersonator who's going to marry us because Elvis has married us before.
Oh, okay.
How
many times have you guys gotten married?
This was the third time.
Oh, gosh.
Our first anniversary, Elvis married us.
Okay.
Fourth time.
Oh, we got married on the cruise this fourth time.
You forgot you got
well, we've done it quite a few times. We used to actually renew our vows to each other every year. And we've kind of gotten out of that habit, but we've done it 4 official times.
Okay.
So I was
4
expecting
certificates. I mean, not like legal certificates, but
right.
Like
one legal marriage, 4 renewals.
That's really all you need. Is the one legal one.
3 renewals.
But then, of course, you want the fun ones.
Yes, the fun ones are great.
The fun ones.
So I'm expecting Gene Simmons or someone who looks like him to walk out any second, but that didn't happen. I turn around and there is our pastor friend, Vince Antonucci, who runs a church called Verve in Vegas. And he was Logan's pastor for years in Virginia Beach. And then he felt the calling to go to Vegas. And so he moved his family there and has been doing a great job ministering to the people there. We just love him. And he wrote the sweetest ceremony for us.
Aww.
It was so special and so personal. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, that's a huge surprise. I would not have expected that. I was so excited. And then as I'm getting ready to walk down the aisle to Logan and Vince, who are at the other end, I'm just geared up. The music's playing. It's so sweet. I'm waiting on the lady to be like, okay, and go. And out walk Jarrett from the Labyrinth and Ace Frehley. And I have never been so scared in my life. I think I jumped out of my skin. Like, just, if the video is out there, I'll get Logan to post it.
That's
but
hilarious.
I literally scream to the which point Logan and Vince are dying laughing. There's just hysterical laughter all around me. And there's tears running down my face because I was so scared and laughing so hard at the same time. So by the time I get to the front with these two impersonators, I'm just like, I'm a mess. Like, I don't even know how to handle this situation anymore, but we're just going to go with it.
And you renewed your vows.
We did.
And then right after that...
Well, right after that, they took us down to the Kiss World mini golf.
Oh, no.
And did a photo session. So be on the lookout for those in a couple weeks when they come back.
And then instead of a big reception with a bunch of people, you guys squashed things.
Oh, yeah, we did. So again, I didn't know it was coming, but Logan's like, okay, we got to get down to the lobby. And I was like, okay. So we wander back through the bowels of this hotel, get back down to the lobby, and parked right out front is an open air Hummer. Like full camo, waiting on us. And the guy's kind of a jerk, which I assume is in character. And he's like, get in. If you drop anything, I'm not going back for it. Also, keep in mind, it's 40 degrees that day. Oh. And it's an open air Hummer. And I'm in sequins. So,
but you're on cloud 9 right now. So
when
I
see the Hummer, it occurs to me what we're doing. Or what we might be doing.
Really?
I have always wanted...
I would never have guessed that this is what was coming.
I have always wanted to do this.
Oh, really? So it's a thing you guys talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
So we get in the Hummer and Logan's like, okay, do you know what we're doing? I was like, are we going to drive a tank?
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, yes, we are. And
where
I was like,
in the world did you come up with the fact that someday you wanted to drive a tank?
I just have always been fascinated by it. I think it's
Were you like considering the military just because you wanted to drive a tank?
No, but I did consider it because I wanted to be a Blue Angel.
Oh.
And then I changed my mind on that. But yeah. So I always wanted to drive a tank. And then we saw it in a TV show not too long ago. What is that? Galactic Quest, I think is what it's called. Mythic Quest.
Yeah.
And they do it in that. And they go and drive the tank and blow things up.
So if you go to Vegas, you can drive a tank over a car.
Yes, you can.
That is wild.
And I did.
That is so wild.
And it was awesome.
And you said that it didn't feel like much. You said that it felt like you just rolled.
It's so powerful. Like, you don't even feel the car crush underneath you. Like, I drove directly over the car, and it felt like nothing.
I wonder if it's because the tires are like tracks instead of like on...
Well, and I think it's just so heavy.
Yeah,
that it just was
of
like...
Of course, it's so powerful and heavy.
I went over a Honda. I have the little emblem.
But I feel like those little pieces, those little tracks or whatever would like kind of crush it piece by piece, like a little at a time, as opposed to like it being all at once, like kind of...
I'll post that video too, because it's literally like... Logan took the video from up on top.
It's like a cupcake under a bicycle. Like, it doesn't even...
It was, yes.
Like, the tank doesn't even move.
It did not move.
Yeah.
And so I, like, went all the way over it. And you can see in the video, Logan turns around, and because he was sitting on top. And he turns around, and all you see is just smoke. And then the guy had me back on the car. And that's how I got out of the tank. It was up on the car. It was so cool.
Amazing.
But it just smushed down like it was nothing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. What a fun trip. Well, while you were gone, I had some exciting machinery family stuff happening too. Not running over things, but my son took to the sky.
I am so pumped. I'm so proud of him.
My oldest Mason wants to be a pilot. And he did his first solo flight last week, and it took a little while to get him there. He could have done it when he was 16, but didn't have quite enough lessons in a row, I guess. And then the weather just hasn't behaved recently. He's been wanting to do it since his 17th birthday in January. And so finally last week, all the elements aligned, and he was able to do 3. They're not touch and goes. They're like full stops. It was freaky, but they let us in the tower to watch. And my mama Hart, like, I don't get nervous about my kids doing stuff. I'm like, I do, but like not. You know, everyone's like, oh, don't you get worried about them playing football? Not really. I mean, obviously, if there's a pile, there's that whole mom prayer about like, oh, let them get up out of the pile. And of course, if he's in a pile, I'm like, but Mason has been injured a lot and hasn't played as much. So football doesn't make me nervous. This was a different element.
Right.
I mean, every single time he took off, there was quite a bit of wind that day. He went like sideways a little bit. Like, you could see the plane starting to dip to the right, and he'd fix it. He'd climbed up to I don't even know how many feet, and he did a little loop, and he came back and landed it. And I was really proud of him because his instructor said he's never had a student that was as prepared to solo as Mason was. He's like, I've never had a student that I felt as confident. But then by the time Mason did a second loop, he goes, oh, it just makes me so, like he lands and he goes, another perfect landing. Because he did three in a row, actually, perfect landings. But at the second one, the instructor's like, it just makes me so nervous when my kids are up there soloing for the first time. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
You're not allowed to be nervous,
You're
sir.
nervous right now? I didn't know that. You didn't let on about that. Now I'm nervous. But it was funny because listening and being in the tower and hearing the radio. So it's a small airport. So there's just two people in the tower, a woman and a man. And they like, I thought I would be able to understand, first of all, the language more.
Yeah, no.
If I knew the tail number of his plane, like, you know, if it was like Foxtrot, you know, I don't know, 3-2 Delta, blah, blah, blah. But they say it so fast. I mean, it could be it's a whole other language.
Right.
And I was like, I have no idea. And Mason's voice was like not familiar to me. And I had to keep going. Was that him?
Man voice now.
He was like T9er 5-2 Delta asking request for clearance to land, whatever. I'm like, she's like 1.5 out 9-2. You know, I don't know. I'm like, I can't even keep up with what they're saying. I'm like, was that him? Was that him? And I only knew it was him because she kept looking at me after he would talk, and I'm like, was that him? And she's like, that was him. And I was like, oh, he sounds so grown up. But then at one point, he requests a landing, and she turns to me and goes, He's alone up there, right? And I was like, why is she? He's soloing. Yeah, yes, like he's soloing. And then the other guy turns around and goes, she turns back to radio, and he turns around and goes, he keeps saying we and not I. And I just thought that was so cute because like it was his first time being up there by himself, but he's like, we. So I asked him about it yesterday. I said, you kept saying, you know, we're requesting land, we're requesting clearance, we're requesting, you know, takeoff, we're requesting.
It's just
whatever.
how he's practiced it.
And that's, but what he said was, well, me and the plane. He's like, I'm not going to change that. I was like, I think you need to practice, because he does it on his simulator. I'm like, I think you need to start practicing I, because he said on the simulator, he says we also. And I was like, well, why? It's just you. You need to start saying I. And he's like, no, it's me and the plane. I was like, oh.
Well, and once he becomes a professional, he'll likely have a co-pilot. And
That's the thing. He'll probably, there'll be a very short time in his life when he's solo, when he's by himself, which I like, because I don't think anyone should ever be in a plane by themselves. I just don't like it. It's, you know, and of course he's like, oh,
I don't get nervous
enough.
for my kids until he's alone in an airplane.
Until he's alone in an airplane. And then I'm like, like choked up.
I am so stinking proud of him.
I
know you are too.
He was thrilled. And I just knew after that first landing, I could imagine his little face and just being like relieved. I did it. He's been waiting for this since he was 14. This moment when he soloed, he's in a plane by himself.
Did you get pictures?
I did, but his plane's so small and he's so far away. I wish I'd gotten a picture of like him and his instructor and stuff, but we were actually between like two other kids' events. We're like having to get this one to practice. And this
you're
one
on the ground, bye.
Yeah. I got to go. I got an
Mom's
8th grade
go.
field trip meeting, and I've got a 3rd grade, you know, soccer game to get to. So yeah, trying to fit it in to go listen to him in the tower. But that's
amazing.
It was wild. It was wild. I'm so proud of him. And now he's a pilot.
He's a pilot. He did it.
I know. And he's like, so I think we should fly down to him. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not getting the whole family in that plane just yet. Just
a little more practice.
Hold your horses. Yeah, hold your horses. Maybe one at a time we can go up with you, but I'm not ready for that yet. I would talk about freak out.
I mean, he's driving a car. You know what?
I'm certified to dive, and I won't like go without an instructor because I don't remember how to do my tanks. I mean, I learned it once upon a time, and I, you know, could probably maybe figure it out, but I'm not going
I
without.
drove a tank.
You drove a tank, yeah.
I mean, if I could do that, I can do anything now. I'm
so
certain.
You think you're ready for the apocalypse then? You could like just jump in a tank.
I was talking to my sister today, you know, with all this war stuff going on in the world and crazy alien balloons and what have you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm not going to be a prepper. My life is too suburban for that. So I figure I'm going to have to replace all my shrubs this year anyway. I'm just going to start planting fruit trees.
Yes.
And I'm going to learn how to master potatoes.
Okay,
and then my family will never starve.
Well, I learned how to hunt for that reason. And then I also like, I too am like, what kind of fruit trees can I do? But then I was always thinking like chickens and bees.
That would be cool.
Because bees,
I would love to have bees.
Honey could double as like an antiseptic.
Oh, it's everything.
Everything plus
I'm
sweeten
pro
your
bee.
tea.
My dad was a beekeeper, and I think he's going to be again. He moved recently, so I don't know if he took his hives or what the deal was. But
I really want to be a beekeeper, but I just feel like maybe when one of my kids is out of the house, I'll have time for it.
Actually, they're honeybees are so like chill. Unless you provoke them, they're not going to hurt you.
No, totally. I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
the bees. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like I have time to dedicate towards them.
Time-wise, yes.
Time-wise.
I think
and
there's
chickens, too. And I heard chickens my friend had chickens, and they only lay eggs for 3 years. Then you
I
got to,
don't
like,
know.
bring their necks and have dinner.
That's a question for
you can't name them.
one of our for our director here. He has chickens,
Really?
and they're like the tastiest eggs I've ever had in my life, and they're also the most beautiful.
Well, that's the thing. And, you don't
Y'all
have to
need-
refrigerate them.
Y'all need to follow Holly. I think Holly Homestead. Is that right? Is it just Sam? It's okay. I'll link her. I'll put a picture of the eggs and link.
They're, like, all different colors, right?
They're
like,
so pretty.
Yeah, browns and...
Oh, I wish I had. Go get the eggs. Someone bring me the eggs. They're here. But they're beautiful. They're blue, green, brown, white, like gorgeous. You almost don't even want to eat them. And yeah, if I could like dedicate.
My friend, she used to bring over, because when she had a healthy flock, or whatever you would call it, she would
it a
bring me
flock of
eggs.
chickens?
Maybe. I don't know. Birds are flocks,
Well,
right? Aren't they
geese are
birds?
gaggles.
Oh, that's true. So maybe chickens are chicklets. I don't know. But she would bring us eggs sometimes, and she'd be like, "Don't put these in the fridge because you don't have to."
You
if
don't have. I think it depends on if they've been washed or not.
Oh yeah,
Because they got what is it called, bloom or
the
something?
stuff on it, the salmonella. Yeah, that's where the salmonella comes from, right? It's from the film, whatever the film is on the egg. That lovely film.
But
But
yeah,
I used to raise ducks when I was little, because the 5th grade, I had the same science teacher. I had the same teacher, and he was like a science guy for 5th and 6th grade. And we had an incubator in the classroom.
Oh, that's
so
so
you got
fun.
to choose chickens or ducks, and I chose ducks, and I would raise them. But I lived on a pond growing up, so I would always have to take the ducks home on the weekend. So there'd be like 5 or 6 ducks, and I'd take them home on the weekend, bring them back to school, and eventually they kind of came to live on our pond. And I had a duck named Flipper. I think I've talked about Flipper here before.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I know that duck eggs are like so full of protein, like I should have kept breeding ducks.
I mean, I feel like ducks.
That's a good doomsday animal.
You got a pool. You could do it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. My duck Flipper lived in like a kiddie pool for his first like year of life.
Oh, speaking of duck, I ate the best Peking duck I've ever had.
See, I don't like duck, but I guess if it was doomsday, I'd have to.
Oh, I love duck.
You had duck in Northern California, I'm assuming?
I think I had duck twice, maybe 3
What?
times. That's one of my most favorite things.
It's dark meat, right?
Yeah,
I'm
kind
so
of.
picky about my proteins. I wish I liked more
I taught you how to
proteins.
eat dark meat, though.
Well, the way you prepared, what was it?
It was chicken.
Yes, but you prepared it like very crispy. It was different. It was different. Amanda, it's all in the preparation.
You would like my
okay?
duck. If I cooked your ducks that you bred, you would like my duck.
By the way, do you think I'm getting like more like I think I'm becoming like a little bit of an old lady, like a little bit of a curmudgeon. I recently did 2 things I've never done before.
Uh-oh.
I recently asked to change my room in a hotel, which I've never done before. And I recently sent back a dish that was brought to me.
Look at you.
Someone brought me clams, and they were, oh my gosh, there was like a baby diaper.
Oh, no.
I was like, something's wrong with these clams. Not the way they were prepared. Like they were prepared well. The clams themselves, I think, were nasty.
Well, also, your palate is probably super fine-tuned for shellfish because your family is oyster farmers.
I think so. I think because oysters, my dad was a clammer when I met him.
So you know a clam.
Yeah, and these were, I mean, and then again, I am in the South, so maybe I don't know Southern clams, like Apalachicola kind of
I don't think there's clams down there. I think it's just oysters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if these were like local Tennessee, raised in a farm, or I don't know what these were.
I don't know
they
if you
were
want
baby
landlocked
diaper,
oysters.
Man. Yeah, I no. And I was
Earth
very
clams.
disappointed.
Oh, that's sad.
But yeah, but otherwise the food was great at that restaurant, but I'm not going to mention the restaurant.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, wait, let's talk about all these binge things. I have been watching so much.
Okay, fill me in.
First of all, or should we do questions first? We have questions from
Well, let's do this
The
first because we just
audience.
did all the questions last week.
Okay. So
So
look, I found this. Someone brought this to my attention. I forget who. In July of 1997, there was a magazine, Cracked. It's kind of like, what was the other one that was
Is
like
that
this?
supposed to
Mad,
be you?
Mad magazine,
Yeah.
yeah. So it says, we shoot down Sabrina the Teenage Witch is the cover. And it's like a picture of what's supposed to be me on a broom going down.
You know,
on
they
fire.
kind of captured you.
They did. Although she's got like bigger cheeks, I think. But, and they made her like a little middle-aged in here. But it's kind of hilarious because like the whole magazine is really funny. It's very like of the time. Like they even have Paul Feig here, who's like the director of Ghostbusters and stuff. Because he was my science teacher on Sabrina. So they do like it's weird because they go through a whole episode of the show, and
But it's
they
not-
just change it up and make fun of itself. But not it wasn't really very smart. I mean,
Well,
It's smart, but it could just be an episode of Sabrina. Like, it honestly wasn't very
It was
different.
1997.
It was. But there's also, it's funny because I guess this came out around the same time as, bless you,
Excuse me.
the movie Liar Liar, because there's a whole Jim Carrey make fun of thingy in
Oh, like the
here, too.
movie?
Yeah. So they hope
I love that movie.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. Oh, there's a Michael Jackson thing about him changing his color. Lawyer is what Liar Liar is called in here. And there was something, rednecks or poor white trash. So you got Jeff Foxworthy.
Basically, this magazine is just an example of everything you can't say anymore.
But everything from the 90s, too, that was like, at the time, it's so interesting. There's this, The Natural Examiner. So it's fake headlines. Woman sees Elvis. Elvira Mulch of Kunkletown, Pennsylvania saw Elvis on the cover of an Elvis album found at a garage sale in Pittsburgh. So it's just like stupid ads, like crazy new diet. This sensational diet is a combination of eating healthy, sensible foods and exercising regularly. Mary Rolta lost 25 pounds in just over a year following this diet. I'm like, it's so brilliant. Texan sees ghost in his TV. Milton Harvey of Houston claims that he'd never seen the Patrick Swayze Demi Moore movie until his wife rented it. He wanted to see Showgirls, but it was out. So
rented it. Hey, anybody reading that now wouldn't even know what that meant.
I know, yeah.
Where did you find this?
Bigfoot spotted in Alabama. This exclusive photo was taken at Billy Bob's shoe store just outside of Huntsville, Alabama. Shown is Charlie Bubba Perry, who stands 6'11" and wears a size 19 DDD shoe, which is the biggest foot in the county. Bigfoot spotted in Alabama. That's the headline.
Where did you find this?
This is so stupid. I don't know. I never do this kind of thing, but I went on eBay. It's like the kind of thing Logan would do, right?
I know.
Like,
I love it.
the brain would normally find fun stuff like this.
The brain would totally. And this is just so relevant now. Look, you could be a giant balloon.
I could be the balloon flying overhead and the fighter jets are taking me down. So funny, right? It's so bizarre. Amanda, do you like what's on my face right now?
I love them.
These are my pair glasses.
I'm obsessed.
They're so cool. You know why they're so cool?
Because you can literally change them anytime you want.
Also because I can see.
Well, that's
when
true
I read,
too.
I need to see, and it really helps. So why stick with the same old pair of glasses when you can have these wonderful glasses? I love that they're lightweight too, so they sit nicely on my face, and then you snap on the frames that you want on top. You can have sunglasses. I've got plaid on right now, but when I take the plaid off, if I just unsnap these, I got a nice light pink color going on.
They're so cute. They're so affordable. They're so easy to wear. This is just a very exciting partnership for me.
Yeah, you can change your glasses quicker than you change your hair or quicker than you can change your shirt. Like, you just literally take the magnetic frame off the front and you've got a different pair of glasses on.
It's awesome. It basically makes it to where it's the only eyewear you will ever need.
Top frames start at $25, so you can build a collection that's unique to you. You can match your outfit, support your home team, or rep your favorite superhero in a snap.
And today, over 200 million children worldwide who need glasses can't get them. So every time you buy a pair, Pair provides glasses to a child in need.
So to get these glasses and stay as fresh as your unique style, go to paireyewear.com/WWB for 15% off your first purchase.
That's Pair, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com/WWB.
Thank you, Pair, for being a sponsor of What Women Binge. All right, so let's talk about
what have you been watching?
I have watched. I feel like I had a lot of time where I could kind of focus on stuff.
You were so bored without me.
I was so bored without you, Amanda. I've watched so much, seriously. Okay, we're still trying to get through Jack Ryan. Mark falls asleep. I have watched every episode 3 times.
You're well-versed.
It's not. And here's the weird thing. You know that they shot it before the Ukraine war. Mm-hmm. However, it's a little too close to home for what happened.
Yeah.
Because they're already predicting it, is that they're going to move into... that the Russians are going to move into Ukraine. So and it's a little slow going. A lot of fight scenes, a lot of repeating the same information. They keep telling you that this so-called bomb is coming and this whole thing.
So that you keep it in and you remember it. And when it happens, you're like, oh my gosh, I knew it was coming.
But everybody tells the same information over and over again. Jack tells this one tells that guy, she tells the president. You hear the same exposition so many times, and I understand it can be a little confusing, but maybe just back it up once or twice. You don't have to repeat it every 5 minutes.
All right, Madam Director.
It's a lot. Hey, it's more like the storytelling aspect. Yeah, I guess. Animal Control.
What is that?
Just watched that. That's with, what's his name from Community? Oh my gosh, hold on. Anyway, it's basically in the vein of The Office.
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale. And it's a fun cast, but he's like a disgruntled animal control guy. He's an ex-cop who gets put on animal control.
Oh, this sounds funny.
It is
Is it just like chasing rabid raccoons and
it's
stuff?
a lot like Parks and Rec, but maybe not as funny. I feel like so far, just the first episode.
Okay.
So not loving it. Shrinking.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, there's only like 4 or 5 episodes out. It's so good.
10 out of 10 stars. Like,
So good. The cast is amazing.
highly recommend. Obviously, don't watch with children.
Oh yeah.
Cast
No.
is Krista Miller,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Harrison Ford is the best character of all time.
Harrison Ford is so funny. He said Mark doesn't like when people curse, but he said something in one of the episodes, and Mark just busted out laughing. He used the F word, and Mark still just thought it was like
It
he
is
just busted out
so.
laughing.
He is the best character. I've never thought of him doing comic anything.
What's so funny? He's in 2 shows right now, 1923, and then this one.
But he is
He's
the
been
comic
busy.
relief. He is the funny
He
of
really is.
shrinking.
And he's like he just has those nice little jabs, and it's very Han Solo to me because he's very and I
Dry.
guess Indiana too a little bit, but like yeah, those dry
Yes.
little jabs, right? Just once in a
So
while throwing
good.
out a great one-liner. Jessica Williams, who plays Gabby, she's amazing.
And then
the
obviously
daughter-
Jason Segel.
Yeah, I mean it's just
just
Jason Segel, who's
all
just
around
brilliant.
good.
What a good cast. I
There
mean,
are, but I feel like the episodes go up and down. Like you get a really feel good episode where you're
Yeah.
just like, this is just, so sweet and so uplifting and happy. And then the next episode, you're like, oh my dear God.
because you got to imagine that like a show like that, if you're going to dive into the shrink world, which is just such a funny world to begin
Well,
with.
you realize just how messed up they are
How messed
too.
up everyone is, right? And shrinks maybe need shrinks more than anyone. And you know, it's funny because someone I knew once upon a time, a showrunner of one of my shows, had numerous siblings that were mental health professionals, and said they're the craziest ones of all.
I
It's, like,
will
so
100% back that up.
in
I
this
know lots of people who are in the mental health field, and I will tell you, and they would admit it too.
Yeah.
They are some of the most like significantly traumatized
It's like
humans I
those
know.
who can't do teach.
Yes,
right?
those-
so that kind of thing.
Those who need mental health do mental health.
Do mental health.
And
But it's a funny concept. Mark's argument about this show is he goes, after we've watched like, how many are out? 5, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, I just don't see where it's going. But the thing that I see is that it truly is like an old-fashioned sitcom where it doesn't, it's just about the characters. It's
Right.
not
It
about
doesn't matter
where
what
we're
happens
going.
day to day.
No. It's not, you're not looking for the end of, it's not like 24 where you want him to get his kid back or something. You know, you're
No.
really just along for the ride.
Yes.
And I like that.
It's made by the same people who made Ted Lasso and what's the other one? Scrubs.
You know, that's true. Like Ted Lasso, the thing is, everyone in the industry has been trying so hard for so long to get that same recipe, to put together that same chemistry
Bill
that Ted
Lawrence
Lasso
does it every
has.
time.
But nobody's been able to do it really. I feel like there's been a lot of misses, like the one about the loot or whatever, about the woman who...
Yeah, that one was.
I think there's a lot of misses of
Wah,
people
wah.
trying to like do a funny show that has a lot of heart like Ted Lasso, and people haven't really been able to do it till Shrinking. I think it's the first time.
Well, and it's the same creator though.
Yeah, well that's
That's
well,
why.
they've
I
got
guess
the
you just
MO.
need him.
It's kind of like you need.
I need you to get a role on Shrinking.
Why don't you make a phone call for me?
Well, don't you have people for that?
Yes, it's not that easy. I wish. Okay, God's favorite idiot.
Okay. What episode are you on?
Like 3.
Okay, stick with it.
Maybe we've only done 2 because the thing about it is Mark. It wasn't until the second episode that kind of heaven comes into it that you realize why it's called God's favorite idiot instead of just my
I
favorite
still
idiot.
hate the title because I feel like it doesn't do it justice because he's not an idiot. He's actually like one of the smartest people.
Well, what's funny is I thought it was going to be about her at first. I thought it was going to be
yeah.
Melissa McCarthy and her husband. What's his name? But I feel like I thought it was going to be her show because it seemed like it was the advertisements were towards her, but it's Melissa. Oh, Ben Falcone.
Yeah. And that's her husband in real life, right?
Yeah.
Well, and have they become a couple in the show yet? Not to spoil it for you.
Yeah, they're sort of like flirting. I think he asked her out or something.
Give it a couple more episodes
Okay.
before you really judge it because I just love the turns it takes. It's wild. Like it is dumb
What
humor.
network? What is it on?
But
again?
it's so fun and lighthearted. It is on
Is it Netflix?
Netflix.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's got an N in the corner. Of course, it's Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them. I adore them, and she just talks and I laugh. You know. She
Oh,
barely
and
has to
her
do
riding
anything.
the hover round
Oh yeah,
instead of driving a car is the greatest.
she's funny.
So, and I love her fashion. I love that they dressed
her
her
fashion
in
is
this.
fantastic. She's in a Budweiser shirt.
Oh,
like
it
a button-up
is.
collared Budweiser shirt.
It's wild and it's
Yeah.
so fun.
It is really fun. And her wardrobe is fantastic. I could see you rocking that, like the big like Peter Pan collar with the tie
and the bows
and, like,
yes,
and the
I would
layers,
totally
like,
do that.
It's a lot of accessory, a lot of color, a lot of patterns and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite parts so far. Did we talk about White Lotus? Because I did finish White Lotus.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
And?
I liked it a lot.
How did you feel about
The ending,
Tanya's
spoiler
end?
alert.
well,
it was
she-
brilliant. I think it was absolutely brilliant.
know.
Like she's getting so.
I'm so
guys,
sad.
cover your ears if you haven't watched it yet. But
Well, she said it in her acceptance speech for her Emmy.
did she?
Yes, that she was like, "But they killed me off."
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
if you didn't know at the end,
but it's so funny the way it happens because you think it's going to be one way, and then it's just such a stupid way to die.
oh, it is the best. In the way that she just flops, you're like
flops,
"What?"
and then it's over. You're like, what? But you know what I want to go back and do is watch the very first episode again, because when they're pulling bodies out of the water and they say that's not the first one this week, I need to go back and be like, how did that get set up again? Because I don't remember it being cohesive with what I was waiting for, I guess.
Right.
Oh, don't mind me. I've got a lovely zit on my head. I'm calling him Phil again.
You
but
can't even see it.
I already had a Phil, but this is Phil too.
Phil's brother.
Phil's twin. You can't see it? Oh my God.
I can't.
Are you blind? It's massive, this thing. Wait, so moving on. So Amanda, you know when you're sick and you're like trying to find what these symptoms mean and you stumble down a big old TikTok rabbit hole full of questionable advice from so-called experts?
Yeah. Let me just tell you, having just had the flu, there were many suggested remedies on the old TikToks.
Or like your group chat or whatever, right? Everybody like tries to tell you what you got, what's going wrong, what you should do. But you need to hear it from trusted professionals, not just random people on the internet.
Yeah, that's why I'm very grateful for ZocDoc. They help you find expert doctors and medical professionals that specialize in the care that you need and deliver the type of experience that you want.
ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed. They take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun.
Millions of people use ZocDoc's free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who's patient reviewed and fits their needs and schedule just right.
Go to ZocDoc.com/WWB and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours.
That's ZocDoc.com/WWB. ZocDoc.com/WWB.
Thanks, ZocDoc, for sponsoring What Women Binge.
Okay.
So White Lotus, loved.
Loved. Do you, okay, season 1 or season 2 better?
I have to say, I really missed the dude that died in the first one.
Oh, the hotel manager.
I missed the hotel manager. I missed that character so much. I think that was great. But like, as much as I love Connie Britton and the guy who plays the guy who played
Steve
her
Zahn.
husband, Steve Zahn. Thank you. My brain's not functioning today. I did not like their relationship or kind of their storyline.
Really?
That one family I wasn't really thrilled with. But
I don't think you're supposed to like them, though.
But I did like the four. Well, you know,
the teenage girls, which was like Sydney Sweeney before she became like everything.
Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, good for her.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So the second one had sort of an overarching theme that started to annoy me, which was that men are always going to cheat and be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like that whether they're gay or straight, that men are just
Gross.
pigs.
Yeah.
And that women, and then you look at it and you're like, well, the women are allowing it to happen or are, bystanders of what's going on and okay with it. And I was like, I understand you need that for the story, but it was a lot of like the same sort of like men are gross.
Yeah.
Men will do anything to, get laid. And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
That went on a little too long with everybody just doing it with everybody else.
Yeah.
I did like the prostitute line.
They were
through
fabulous.
line. Yeah.
Those two actresses, I loved them.
I love the idea that like someone sleeps with everyone in the hotel. That was sort of fun how they play everybody.
Yeah. And they end up being the winners in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, what?
Yeah. The kind of almost unlikable characters.
Well, you almost feel sorry for them in so many respects, like through the whole thing. And then in the end, you're like, oh, I got played too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was really fun. It was really fun. I did enjoy this season. It caught me. I stayed on the treadmill an hour every time I got on it because I was watching the show. Yeah.
There's your motivation.
It got me some fat burning points on my Fitbit. for sure. Oh, I started last night. Oh, I finally finished Only Murders in the Building last night.
Good.
Right?
Look at you.
I know. I watched a lot yesterday.
So
because
season
Mark
2,
went to
you
go
finished?
get pizza, and so I watched a lot of like last episodes. I finished season 2 of Only Murders in the Building. Love the way they left it for season 3.
I know. I'm very excited.
That was fun.
I've been seeing the cast come out because they're filming it right now.
They are.
Meryl Streep's in it.
Is Paul Rudd going to be in it? We think?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And then
Rudd's in
Paul Rudd, and then what is his name? Is it Jesse? What is his name? Hang on. Oh, my battery's
holding.
with this. The only there it is. Hang on, I know his name. This guy, Jesse Williams.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in it now.
Oh, Jesse Williams is having a moment. I love that guy.
Yes.
He's so handsome.
See, yeah, there's like all these cast photos coming out.
Wow.
I know. It's going to be so
Wait,
good.
who's the blonde?
That's Meryl Streep.
Oh, that's Meryl Streep?
Yes.
She looks fantastic.
I know. She looks so young.
I love it. Yeah, Only Murders I like. It's just fun. It annoyed me in the beginning. I thought Selena Gomez was really very dry, and she was very like
She's
boring.
supposed to be.
And I know, and I got to like her. And I thought Martin Short, as much as I adore that man and all of his work, he always drives me nuts. But I love him as this character because he's supposed to
I'm
drive you nuts.
obsessed with him.
I love him in this.
I
And
love
Steve Martin
all of them.
always. I love.
I know. Have you ever seen them on tour?
I have seen Steve Martin, but not
Steve
Martin
Martin and Martin Short occasionally do a tour together, and it is so good. Logan
Really?
and I have gone twice now.
Martin Short's just always over the top, whether he's in Princess Bride, Father of the Bride, or
but that's what you want.
even
out
in
of him.
Three Amigos. Like, but I love him in Three Amigos, but it's over the top.
I
and it
want the
makes
over
me
the top.
crazy. When he does that character from Saturday Night Live where he dances with his knees together, like it just makes, I don't know. There's something like it makes me cringy, as the kids say.
But that's
A
what
little
makes him
cringy,
golden.
But I do love him, and like I love all of his projects, even if he makes me cringy. But in this, I love him in Only Murders because he's supposed to be the obnoxious, Broadway director.
Yes.
who's just gets in everyone's face and
it's
is
the best.
yeah, just too much.
And
of
his
a
little
busybody.
bulldog. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
So cute.
It was a fun season of Only Murders. It did lose me in the middle, but I did like it. You know who first told me about Only Murders? One of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast too.
No.
Was the boy Ian who plays Sheldon on Young Sheldon.
Oh.
He was like, "You gotta watch Only the Murders in the Building." And since I was working with him, I was like, "Well, I better do what he said. He's my boss right now." So I went and watched it, and that's when I first started binging the first season. It was from
It's
him.
so
And then
good.
Annie Potts told me to watch The Great. And Jason Alexander. They both told me to watch The Great. And I was like, you know what? We should start a podcast where you tell
Is
people
there a
what
new
to
season
watch.
of The Great? Is there going to be another?
I think so. But isn't
I hope.
she supposed to kill her husband? Like, doesn't Catherine the Great eventually kill her husband?
Well, you assume, but there would be no show if she did.
Nicholas Holt. Oh, wait. Pause. Pause that.
Okay.
Put a pin in that.
Pin.
Let's just finish one more TV show I want to talk about.
Okay.
Hello Tomorrow.
I have not seen this.
This is on Apple. There's only like 3 episodes out right now.
Okay.
I think you would like it. It's like if the 50s. Well, I also watched Tomorrowland yesterday, the movie from 2015 about Disney.
Yes.
Which was probably trying. It's a beautiful movie, and
It's gorgeous,
looks like
but
it was
it's
really
kind
expensive.
of wah, wah, wah.
Tucker was into it, but it's one of those you watch it once, you don't need to watch it again.
No, yeah, we watched it when it came out.
But Hello Tomorrow is sort of that same vibe of that like time period, right? The 1950s, the Tomorrowland sort of feel of Disneyland, but if robots were created then, and it's sad though. It's sad. It's cute. It's Billy Crudup. It's an amazing cast. It's also Hank Azaria, who I love. It's a really great cast, but it's by the end of the first episode, you kind of know where it's going. So it's about a salesman who's selling and like a sales pitch team that's selling properties on the moon.
Oh.
And by the end of the first episode, you realize they're kind of full of shit. Like,
Oh, okay.
so you're
Speaking of moon, guess what I found out?
what?
This is so okay. I got 2 places to go with this. So we're in Vegas last week, and we're in a cab going to see this new place called Omega Mart, which is like a Meow Wolf exhibit that they've opened in Vegas.
A what exhibit?
Meow Wolf. Do you know what that is?
What's Meow Wolf?
Okay, I'll come back to that.
Okay,
Um,
please do.
So we're in this cab and we're going, and the guy was like, "You see that empty plot of land right there?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's like right below the Trump Hotel, right next to the Wynn, right on the Strip." And he's like, "Yeah, they're building a Moon Hotel there." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "The Moon Hotel. Have you heard about the Moon Hotel?" We're like, no, he's like, Google it. So we pull it up, and they're legit building a hotel that not only looks like the moon, but when you go and stay on it, you are staying in a moon resort.
What?
You were doing all the space things.
I wonder if it's related to Hello Tomorrow, because that's
I don't
what
know.
it's about.
Well, they're like building it in Vegas, and you're
we
going
go
to be
to
able
the
to
opening?
stay there. Should we? Yes, we
Let's go to
should.
the opening. I went to the opening of New York Hotel once. I was the first one to ride the
yes.
roller coaster.
I am claiming that right now.
Yes, I know.
We're going to the opening of the Moon Hotel.
Amanda's always like permagun.
Yeah.
That's like shotgun, but permagun.
Yes,
in-
that's me
on
in
my rides.
Melissa's life. I'm just there for...
For all the fun.
I am your Robin.
All the fun.
All the fun things. All our friends get really mad because I'm like, nope, that's me. Sorry. Not sorry.
Oh, that sounds cool. We have to do that.
So-
But you should. I feel like you would like Hello Tomorrow, but it does have a sadness to it.
Well, and the show reminded me, we started the new season of Picard,
Oh yeah,
which I love.
yeah,
because
that's your thing.
we
of
know I'm
course.
obsessed with
Yes.
Patrick Stewart.
And all of Star Trek in general.
I love him. And it is shaping up to be so good.
Really?
So in the first episode alone, it's him and Jonathan Frakes, who is number one.
Okay.
And they are on this mission together, and they're going to save Beverly
Okay.
from Next Generation. Ah! And
Which one's Jerry Ryan?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, so first episode, so far so good. I'm still obsessed.
I think my friend does all the makeup on that.
On Picard?
Yeah.
That's insane because there is some crazy talent.
Well, that's
makeup.
what he is like one of the best prosthetics. I have like 3 friends that are in the prosthetics department. Oh, she
It's-
plays Seven.
Oh, I love her.
Seven of what's her
Yeah,
name?
she's in it.
Seven of it doesn't say it all.
Well,
on
she was
IMDb.
the half Borg, like
Okay.
7 of 9, yeah.
7 of 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
Um,
gonna see who did makeup on it because I think my friend maybe we can pull a little. Hold on.
so that was
I'm thinking out loud. I shouldn't be people.
thinking out
Oh,
loud.
Allison Pill is in it too, huh? Let's see who did makeup.
Ed
If
Sheeran
it's
break.
James. He also is the person who introduced me. This makeup artist is the person who introduced me to gin and tonics. So you should thank him.
Oh, thank you, friend.
The makeup department has 60 people.
I
but
heard 3 Gin Melissa might have made an appearance.
3 Gin Melissa. Where did 3 Gin Melissa show up?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
There's a reason why.
James McKinnon. Yeah, he worked on it. He did 10 episodes. Yeah, he's the head of the special effects.
So if I go sit in his chair, will he make me over and put me in the background somewhere?
If you want to look like Picard, he
Yes.
can make you, or he'll make
Make
you look
me
like
an
7
alien.
of 9.
Make me an
James
alien.
McKinnon. I went on a date with him and he introduced me to gin and tonic.
So nice of him.
And he's just a good friend because he's in with all my makeup and hair friends. They're all really, really tight and really close friends.
I should have brought so Omega Mart is like a interactive art exhibit kind of thing. It's done by the people who created Meow Wolf, which is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's the first of its kind, kind of an interactive art installation. So you go in and it kind of alters the reality of the situation that you're in. So some of it feels kind of like a spaceshipy kind of thing. Some of it feels very normal, but like you open a door to go somewhere and it doesn't go where you expect it to go. So Omega Mart is like you walk in and it's a grocery store.
Oh.
And you're looking around the grocery store and you start to realize like nothing is as it seems. Like if you look close at every single little product, there's something about it that's unusual.
Sounds like an NFT. I'm really not grasping the concept.
No, it's really cool. So like if you picked up like a box of cereal, it would have kind of a little silly name. And it's
not
all
cereal? It is cereal.
Well, it's a cereal box.
But it has something else inside of it. Like
It might have
phone
cereal
charger.
in it, but the name of it would be something kind of like a play on words,
Oh.
kind of, or maybe a political statement.
This
or
is in Vegas?
well, yeah, there's different ones now. They're kind of branching out.
Is there one in Nashville?
No, but I wish there would be.
Oh, maybe there will be.
It's really cool. So you're going through, and then like you go to the produce section, and like I bought one. It's like instead of tomatoes, they have tomato snails. And it's like a snail, but it's a tomato.
What?
And like the daikons have
Wait,
arms
it's a
and legs.
snail or it's a tomato?
It's a tomato snail.
But is it? But which?
It's both.
No, it can't be.
And then
hold
like
on.
it
You
is.
eat it like a tomato, or you eat it like
No,
escargot?
Well, you would have to decide, I suppose. It was in
It's
the produce department.
It's an animal and a vegetable.
Yeah,
Because I thought things are divided in this world. Are we messing with nature?
it's
like,
not real. It's like
Okay.
it's a piece of art.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I was freaking out. I'm like, I don't understand.
So
'Cause you said grocery store.
well, it is a grocery store, but it's like everything in it is a piece of the art.
Okay.
So you can touch and experience everything in its own way. So everybody's having a different experience around you. So
Wow.
it is really cool.
This is bizarre.
And as you go through the store, like if you open the door to the freezer section, you may open one that leads to a hallway.
oh.
Or like you go over by the produce section and there's like you go behind the counter and suddenly you're in the janitor's closet, which then leads into another planet.
What?
Yeah. It's wild. So it's like 3 floors of interactive exhibit. And you start in the grocery store and you end in the grocery store. But everything that happens to you in between
It's
is
like
completely
an
up
escape
to
room
you.
in a grocery store with aliens
Kind
and
of.
snail tomatoes.
Yes. And daikons that have arms and legs. And in the
What are
meat section,
daikons?
daikons.
What
The
are
vegetable.
daikon? Oh. Oh.
You don't know what a daikon is?
I don't think I do.
It's like if a carrot and a radish had a baby.
Okay. I don't eat those things. I won't eat snail tomatoes either, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Well, in the meat department, there's like a chicken in the little thing, but it's all tattooed. And then there's like, I mean, it's just
so bizarre.
it's wild.
Is there like a video on YouTube that I can watch
Yes,
to
for
try
sure.
to understand what
There's
the hell
lots
you're
of
talking
videos.
about?
Yes, but highly recommend the experience. It was super cool. I loved it. It was a
Wow.
little too people-y.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure if you've never had COVID, that's where you go to get it.
Okay.
But-
Okay. Well, Vegas in general
Oh yeah.
is, the Mecca.
But it was really, really cool. So highly recommend.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out. Speaking of highly recommending and food, movie The Menu. No, it's too dark. You can't watch it. You can't watch The Menu, but it is so fun. Like do you ever watch any of the Agatha Christie, like Death on the Nile?
Some of them I can watch
Or
because they're
Glass
funny.
Onion or
I
Knives
haven't watched
Out?
Glass Onion yet because everyone told me that was too much.
Okay, so Glass Onion and Knives Out are funny. Like the Agatha Christie movies, like I haven't really liked. Death on the Nile was, I thought, awfully done, terribly.
Well,
terribly.
see, I've read
I really didn't
some
like
of the
it.
Agatha Christie books, and they do get dark, but I don't feel like they're like
No, they're
gory.
They're a little fluffy. And then you've got like the Knives Out, Glass Onion genre. I feel like is funny. The Menu is just twisted. It's
No.
like Saw in a restaurant.
No, I can't
It's
do
like,
that.
But it's not that gory. It's not as gory as Saw. It's not as like, oh my God, you have to rip her body open and pull the screw out in order to get out of the door or whatever. But it is twisted. There's a lot of twists and turns. I love when a movie or a show or a book surprises me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not predictable. And The Menu
This
is not
is-
predictable. And it's great cast. It's Anna Taylor-Joy. It's Nicholas Hoult. It's Ray Fiennes. It's Judith Light. It's a really fun cast. So he's a chef. Ray Fiennes' character is a chef and like a world renowned, the best of the best. And if
Okay.
you want to go to his restaurant, you have to get on this ferry and you go over. You get you have a reservation and you go. There are only like 10 tables a night. Oh, who else is in it? John Leguizamo. So you have to get to the island and then you are seated for this fantastic dinner that every course has a story.
Okay.
Well, it turns out to be a murder story.
Oh.
So it gets dark and twisted, and
Yee.
you got to figure out,
Who done
how to
it?
survive, sort of.
All right.
But it's fun. I can't stop thinking about it. I think I want to watch it again. And it's rare that, because like I have to say Tomorrowland, I'm like, okay, saw it. Glad I did. Glad Tucker saw it with me. I have
but
to watch that one again.
yeah.
I do have a review from Brady about Cocaine Bear. We'll talk about that later. But
So you let him see it.
I did. I'll bring back his review next week.
Okay.
And report to everyone on Cocaine Bear as far as from the point of view of a 14-year-old.
On the opposite end of that, what did you think about Jesus Revolution?
Jesus, that's what I was going to say. Those were the top 2 movies this weekend, apparently. Jesus Revolution was amazing.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really excited to see it.
Well, we have a guest coming in next week who went to the premiere. I want to hear her take on it, but she said something really funny that, well, I'll let her tell you next week. But, but Jesus Revolution was, first of all, a movie has to be beautiful. A
Right.
movie has to be beautiful, especially if it takes place in the 70s, like in the Summer of Love. If it's like, it has this warm, beautiful look to it. The depth of field and like all the cinematography is just exquisite. They did a really beautiful job with it. The story is really fun. It's about ultimately, the way I look at it is like it's about a pastor who's got a kind of a dying church,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy who looks and acts like Jesus comes in And none of the church-going people want the hippies around.
Of course.
But this one guy who looks and acts like Jesus convinces this pastor to allow the hippies in because the hippies are lost souls who have nowhere to go, and what they're looking for is a reason, and the word. And they start this kind of congregation of people that are just searching and lost. And you see the hippies that are drug addicts and the hippies that are very Christian. And I want to say Christians will love this movie, and non-Christians will probably like it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good movie no matter where you are in your faith journey.
Okay.
I think it's just, if you look at it as an inspiring story about someone who comes to faith because of being shown love and an open door, it's very much about that.
That's
And
awesome.
It's just beautiful, and it's a true story about.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there's like 3 or maybe 5 characters in it that are based in real peoples that are
Yes.
still with us.
Kelsey Grammer's character is
Yeah.
like
He's the pastor who opens
He's
the
not
church doors.
with us any longer, his character. But apparently he's like incredible in the movie.
He is. They're
can't
all
wait to see
really,
it.
honestly, the casting, because in a lot of these movies, sometimes with the budgets and whatnot, they kind of cut on the cast. So you'll have a few great actors and then a few, up and coming, maybe budding actors, but not. But this whole cast is really, really stellar. They're great. And like I said,
Nice.
it's beautiful to watch. It's a beautiful movie. Wait, what else did I watch? Hold on. I watched a few other movies I got to tell you about real fast. And we'll do some questions and we'll let you guys go. But we watched, because Mark and I went away a few weeks ago, and I forgot to tell you guys about, Triangle of Sadness. Don't see it.
Oh,
Weird.
Okay. Sorry. Can y'all
If you-
hear my stomach growling?
I heard that.
Oh my gosh.
Someone's hungry.
I need a snack.
Triangle of Sadness is like what I thought the menu would be. It's funny. It's
That
Woody
just
Harrelson.
sounds like that's instant not for Amanda.
Triangle of Sadness is definitely not for you.
Geometry and sadness. No, thank you.
It's got a funny concept. The trailer is really good, but the movie is very long, and it takes these twists and turns that don't make any sense. It's a bunch of people that go on a yacht. It's a little bit set up like the menu. Maybe they go on this yacht with this wealthy. It's like a wealthy yacht, and in the yacht, the crew.
The yacht is wealthy.
No, well, it's for wealthy people.
Oh.
So there's like the crew on the yacht, and then there's like the wealthy folks. It's sort of like a mini version of the Titanic. But then there is a chaos on the boat, and they end up getting beach wrecked, and the kind of dynamic of it becomes a little Lord of the Flies of who takes over, who has the food, whoever has the food has the power, sort of thing. But it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't. Woody Harrelson's brilliant in it, and the whole cast really is. But it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It's someone tried to make an indie. Weird,
It wouldn't be on my list anyway.
No, but it's like nominated for awards and stuff. But because it's quirky and different, and it's got a great setup, it just doesn't execute well.
Okay.
One that I did love that's worth watching, especially right now in award season, because it just won some SAG awards, like all the SAG awards, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That is on the list.
So good. Just full disclosure, I only watched half of it, but that's all I really need. It's a very long movie. And
It's so good.
I have not
I haven't finished
sat down
it.
to finish it.
It's so
But I
good.
can't wait. But it's a lot. It's a lot. But the action sequences are fantastic
in the first half.
in the first half. Well, let me just rope you in with this little tidbit. Okay, so the kid who was in Indiana Jones, the Asian actor, I think you say his name like
Short round.
well, he's also in Goonies. Hold on. Let me just. I know I'm probably not going to say his name correctly.
Well, it's Data in Goonies.
Data,
Yeah.
and then he's
And
in
then Short
Indiana
Round.
Jones. That's you, Short Round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michelle Yeoh is amazing. Ki Hui
Oh, yeah.
Kwan.
Yeah, I can't say that
So
name.
I had to look it up because everyone's like, oh, he disappeared from the industry from a teenager till now, and now he just won a SAG award. And I don't even know if he's nominated for an Oscar, but he's so good in it. And Michelle is amazing in it. And Stephanie and Jamie Lee Curtis is brilliant in it. They're all so good. The cast is amazing. The scenery, I don't even know how the director did it, like keeping track of everything that had to happen in this movie. It's a little confusing. It's a little Matrixy, but these two people and their daughter own a laundromat and live upstairs of it. And their lives are like a little hectic and a little chaotic. But he like pulls his glasses down one day and goes, when you get off the elevator, take a left and keep going through the door or something, right? And you find out there's this alternate universe that's about to come after her. And her husband is like sort of her guide, but also her husband that's divorcing her in the real life. And there's sort of these different versions of life sort of playing out at the same time. And she can tap into her movie star self or her, black belt karate self. So it turns out,
That
in
sounds cool.
between Indiana Jones and this, apparently became a big stunt coordinator, which
Oh.
shows because he does his own stunts. He has, guys, like a 4-minute fight scene with a fanny pack, using it as like a nunchuck. It's hilarious and amazing. Even if you don't watch the rest of the movie, go Google that because
Okay.
his fight scene with the fanny pack is brilliant. And
That sounds like something I would like. Like time travel movies are my jam.
yeah,
So I feel like
it's
that's
a lot. There's a lot to take in. I think that's why I needed a break from it. Well, it got late and we were like, all right, let's come back to this tomorrow. And we just haven't turned it back on. But it's so good. I feel like it should have been like a 3-parter or something. Like
Yeah.
It's
like
so
it could have
good.
been a mini series,
Like Kill Bill in a way or something. But
Oh,
like
okay.
not as dark. But
but
it's just
fun like that.
It's interesting. It's like there's a Leonardo DiCaprio one that it reminds me of too, where like time shifts and change, or
Mhm.
it's not linear, and you can go into different sort of not dimensions, but like I don't know. Like I feel like I need to watch it twice just to understand probably
The science.
the science of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but that was one I just loved. And then Mark and I also watched.
Man, you have been on it.
We watched something called Admission, which was an old Tina Fey movie, but I think it's Paul Rudd in.
The Admission.
Yeah, like they're in admissions.
Oh, at a college, right?
College
yes, I have
admissions.
seen that before.
Yeah, I think it's just called Admission. Yeah, Tina Fey and Paul Rudd. It's from 2013.
Yeah.
But we caught it on in a hotel movie, and
Those are kind of the best when
It
you're
was
just like
cute.
you don't really choose it; it chooses you.
yeah, we were like, well, we love those two, so let's check it out. It was good. Glad I saw it. Don't need to see it again,
But cute.
but cute.
Yeah, I remember it being cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked
Have
it,
you-
from,
have you
especially because I'm trying to get my kid into college right now, so
I know,
it
right?
kind of really stands out to me.
I can't think like
Yeah,
that. Ugh.
I'll prep
Ugh.
you when.
Why
when
are they
time
so
comes.
old?
Well, and also like, what do you do? Like, at least I'll know for the other two. But there's the burnt pancake rule playing out here, where I don't know what to do with Mason about. Luckily, I got him in some ACT courses and
the burnt pancake rule.
the first one's always a burnt pancake. You don't know
That's
that?
true.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
just
is
said
true.
that.
Oh man, he is the burnt pancake. Poor
Want to do
Riker.
some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
How do I get my husband to binge watch with me? Asks Lisa.
If you know, well, mine actually gets me to binge watch with him, so
Yeah, your husband likes to binge.
he's better at it than me.
I have a really hard time. We have to, but I get so overjoyed when we find something we both like. Like
Yes.
Shrinking is that way for us. You just have to figure out. Like,
You have to
I know
make
that I have to
time.
watch Handmaids by myself. I had to watch Only Murders. Like when he ran
Yeah.
out to get the pizza yesterday for dinner, I finished Only Murders. That's why I had that minute of time.
Yeah.
So I know what I have to watch by myself, but I'm also able to be like, just watch one episode with me and see.
Just
if
see if you
it.
like it. Yeah, and that a lot of times that's how it plays out with me in the brain. It's just he'll turn it on without even like saying, "Hey, do you want to watch this?" Because most of the time I'd be like, "Nah."
Yeah.
If it,
Oh, we'll spend all night just looking at previews.
Yeah.
And never get to anything.
but if he just turns it on, usually I get sucked in.
Yeah.
And-
You know what's great too? There is this TiVo remote. You can get a TiVo thing to plug in the back of your TV, and it's like a new version of TiVo. You plug it in the back of your TV. You have a remote control that powers up your TV, and instead of like going to all your apps, it puts all your shows in one place. So you go to your own TV guide. So literally in there, I have Shrinking. I have
Like all your streaming services
1923.
combined.
You just have to sign. You have to one time sign into each one, and then from there on, you just tell it what you want it to program, and it loads them in. So now all you have to do is go to your TiVo, and it's all lined. I love this thing.
That's brilliant.
It's really easy.
and
We
that's
use it
not
in our
sponsored,
bedroom.
folks.
No, it's not. It's not. Although it was at one time. I got it because I was sponsoring it for Christmas a year ago.
Oh, cool.
But it's just such a nice way. You spend a little bit of time setting it up, and then boom, you can load in all your Christmas movies.
Does it make suggestions for you?
No, you can use it like a TV as well. But what I use it for is like, here's my own TV guide.
Ah,
like
gotcha.
I go into my TiVo, I go into my watch list.
And
And
there's
it's all,
everything.
and it's all lined up. So what do we want to
Okay.
watch? What do we need to catch up on? What do we still want to watch? What haven't we finished? Brian asks, I love the podcast. What's the story behind Clarissa Now? I've seen the pilot on YouTube. That's all there was. Clarissa Now was something we did for CBS after Clarissa ended 1994. We did a pilot with some fantastic actors in it, some like old time Broadway stars and movie stars. And it was about Clarissa moving to New York City. I think it starts on the subway. And she's going to her first job. She's going to be a journalist in New York. And it was supposed to take place in
Oh,
New
yeah,
York.
you've told me about this before.
Yeah. supposed to take place in New York as she starts working for a big time like New York Times type publication, and it just didn't go. CBS didn't like the pilot, and we didn't do it, which sucks because I would have worked in New York with all these fabulous actors, had another series. But
At least people got to see the pilot, though.
that's true. I didn't know it was out there. I guess you guys can watch it on YouTube. Check it out.
Guess I'm gonna go
Can we
watch
put
it.
a link on my YouTube to that
Probably.
maybe? Something like that.
Okay, let's see. Were you team Brenda Dillon or Kelly Dillon?
Kelly Dillon. Do you even know what this question is about?
90210, right?
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. I thought maybe you're too young.
I was Kelly, for sure.
Yeah, Kelly. I think because I related to her too, like as a blonde. Like
I did not relate on that level. I was never cute or blonde. But
you're.
she was little cute. She was like the Kristen Chenoweth of like...
She's tiny.
So cute
Yeah,
and bubbly
tiny.
and tiny and all the things that I probably would have wanted to be as a teenager and just was not. I was
I
like...
thought Brenda pouted a little too much.
I was
think. It
the
a little too
tall
pouty.
Sasquatch in the corner.
Oh my gosh. Nice.
It's true, though.
We're gonna talk nice about my friend.
Okay.
Amanda, is it difficult to forecast the weather in Nashville? I don't know how our guys do it here in OKC. That's asked by Jack.
No. It's, well, once you know what you're doing, no. There are much more difficult places that I've had to forecast for. Cheyenne, Wyoming being probably
Ooh.
the hardest. And anywhere in the Rocky Mountains is really hard, too.
Because it just changes so
It can change
unpredictably?
so quickly, and also with all the different elevations
Yeah.
and where cities are located in
you gotta
valleys
give lots of
under
different-
elevations, it can just really throw things off. And Oklahoma City is actually a pretty similar to Nashville.
Yeah.
As far as like how to forecast and what to expect.
Yeah.
Most
Because you
of-
can get tornadoes.
yeah, well, they get a lot
rainstorm.
more tornadoes than we do, even, but you know kind of the weather patterns in those places. So you know the direction most storms are going to go. You know the places.
Does the jet stream go through Oklahoma? Is that part
sometimes?
Of it? Okay.
But you know which places are more prone to tornadoes. Which places geography is not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, it's interesting you say that because, like, when we're at our house in Lake Tahoe, like, we have to look at what the basin of the lake is going to get, but we're like 1,500 feet above it.
Mhm.
But, like, you know, nearby is Reno. So mainly you get in the Reno, but Reno is a desert and we're up in the mountains.
Well,
but
and-
even we're way high in the
and
mountains.
next to the lake, you get all sorts of lake effect weather
Well,
too.
we're on the west. We're on the east side of the lake, which gets very different weather than the west side
Yes.
because the mountains will stop it and the lake will
That's
direct
another
it in a
really
certain way.
difficult situation. So like Buffalo, New York, super hard to predict weather there, forecast weather there. Anywhere on the east side of the Great Lakes, the Canadian border.
Because the lakes really change. Like, I know with Lake Tahoe, like, it really changes up from
It
east
changes
side to west side.
everything.
And sometimes the weather goes in reverse by us. Like, it'll wrap around and come the opposite direction of the way it's supposed
you're
to.
surrounded by mountains, so a lot of things can bounce back. It's wild.
Yeah.
But no, Nashville is probably one of the easier places I've forecasted.
Well, that's
So,
good because, like, when we fly into Reno, they call it the Reno Rodeo.
mhm.
Like, landing in Reno is some of the most hellacious flights I've ever been on.
because of the
And my son first learned to fly
in Reno.
in Truckee in, like, California,
So
up in the
he's so
mountains,
good.
which is
You
one
don't
of the
have to
most
worry about him.
dangerous, they say, like, places to fly in the country. So yeah, he always is like, oh, if I can fly in Truckee, I can fly anywhere. But he hasn't soloed in Truckee. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Oh, Tanya asked, what's one guest you'd love to have on the podcast?
Oh, okay.
I probably have two. I think, I mean, that are probably people we could definitely get. Like, Reba has shown interest. I think she'd be fun to have on. And Sean Astin.
Oh,
Just
I would
'cause
love
love
both of
talking
those.
to that guy. But then again, I mean, I could ask Bill Murray. What do you guys, should
That
we
would
get
be
Bill
really
Murray?
cool.
I think we can get Bill Murray
The
to FaceTime
the truth of the matter is, he might tell you he'd come, but who knows? if
well,
he'd
maybe
actually
he'd
show.
FaceTime, but I would probably might have to teach him how to FaceTime. I don't know.
Well, last I heard, he doesn't even have a phone, right?
He does.
But
That's
the rumor.
But he does. He has a 1-800 number you can call and leave him a message.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
It's a 1-800 number.
Yeah. But he's accidentally texted me before, so I have his number.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to think who, honestly, like, I feel like in the last year, my podcast dreams have come true. We've had such great guests.
Such great guests.
Dolly, obviously.
Oh my gosh. Here's my mug. Dolly for president.
Exactly.
There's yours too. Cheers.
Oh, sorry. I was racking my brain
You're
to think
thinking.
of who else I would like just be floored to have.
Rihanna to talk about her Super Bowl performance.
I mean,
or
I would love that.
Like, oh, McKenna Grace is someone we've been
I
wanting
would
to
really
have
like to have
too.
her. I'm just blown away by that little girl. I mean, she's
I
not a
think
little girl.
she's on
she's
another.
a teenager
Did I
now.
just see she's on another show or movie?
She was back on Young Sheldon a few weeks
But
ago.
I think she has something
and
else. There's a girl who looks just like her.
She's
if
everywhere.
it's not her. Oh, I didn't realize she was in I, Tonya.
Okay, JD wants to know, what snacks did you enjoy as a kid that are no longer around? Something you wish your
goodness.
kids could enjoy.
You know, to be honest,
I think they brought
they're-
back everything that
I think they did.
would
Even
have.
like I saw recently, like Nickelodeon slime cereal or something. I think that's
Ugh.
yeah, gross. I wouldn't eat that, even though
Maybe
I
the
worked at
purple
Nickelodeon.
and green ketchup, just so they could be like as grossed
Ew.
out as all of us were.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
Purple and green.
It looked
ketchup
like paint.
in the same bottle or different.
No,
color?
different bottles. But it like legit looked like paint.
That food coloring would make
Oh.
Tucker go off the walls.
I'm sure. What else did I mean? What's gone?
Pop-Tarts were a big thing for me. Oh, did they still make toaster strudels?
Oh yeah, that's
I
still
did
around.
They do.
Oh no, look, the brain just said Orbits. Ugh.
What's that?
It was that drink with the little floaty beads in it. It was like a clearly Canadian, but it had little gummy beads that floated in it.
gross.
Oh, it makes me want to vom just thinking about it.
Like,
My brother and
I have
sister
a hard time with
loved
bubble
it.
tea because I'm like I gotta chew my.
Oh, I love
drink.
bubble tea, but
I'm so afraid I'm gonna choke on it. Like I'm so afraid I'm gonna like if you suck one of those up the
is
straw, you're like
Tang still a thing?
no, I think Tang's gone.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah.
As a kid, I loved some
See,
Tang.
my favorite things were like if I didn't get ice cream at the ice cream man, it was like Fun Dip. That's around.
Yeah, Fun Dip's still there.
Ring Pops.
Do they still have-
candy cigarettes?
Oh, yeah, they definitely don't make that
Kind of
anymore,
you
do
blow
they?
out and a little powder comes out the end. Yeah, I think they still do make the stick ones, at
But not
certain-
the ones
but
that-
not the ones that blow
Yeah.
out. They were bubble gum in a wrapper, but they put some
Ugh.
powder in there, so if you blew out, it would poof, like a little
Yes.
puff of smoke.
Oh, man, the 80s were a time, weren't they?
Yeah, there was some good. Oh, you know what they did make a candy that I liked that I still see sometimes, maybe at like Cracker Barrel, like orange juice container looking gum. And it's like little orange beads
Uh-huh.
inside. You dump it. You open a little milk carton.
I remember that.
Dump the orange juice in your mouth, but it's gum.
Yes.
I do like that.
And do you remember they used to make giant sweet tarts?
No.
Yes. They were like this big.
Oh my god, my tongue would be raw.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be gross.
And it came in like a long thing, and you'd get like 5 or 6 of them, I think.
I love sweet tarts. That is like one of my go-to candies for movies, but I can't
remember
do
if they were
that.
chewy or not.
Ugh.
There were maybe
They
I
had
don't
two
know.
versions.
It was
I
that was something.
I couldn't. That just a. Ugh.
Well, and I remember when sour Skittles came out, which I think is still a thing. You can still get sour
Yeah.
Skittles, but my mouth was destroyed for days.
Anything sour, I wasn't really. I mean, maybe a little Sour Patch Kid here and there, but not really.
Those belts, the long sour belts,
Oh, they
which
have
I'm
my
sure are
kids
still a thing
are
too.
obsessed. That's a big go-to for them in the movie theater. But those are our questions for this week. You guys, you can look for us on Instagram, What Women Binge, and we'll look at your questions every week. Next week, we're going to have a guest. Should be fun.
Yes,
our
so
first
fun.
in-studio guest of the season.
Yes.
She's going to come in the studio. And yeah, this has just been fun catching up. I binged a lot of stuff, but I got more to talk about for next week. So you guys check it out. Stay with it. Oh, look at my shirt. Forgot to mention the merch real quick.
I
Look,
thought there was like an emergency. You-
a merch emergency. I've got my What Women Binge t-shirt on. You guys can check out our
a
merch.
emergency.
Emergency.
It was an emergency.
So
What I did there. I'm
cute. I
so
see what
punny.
you did. Well, thank you guys for sticking around with us. And yeah, go binge some of those shows that we were watching and let us know what you think of them. And check out whatwomenbinge.com to get our YouTube link, to get our merch, to check out, all of our content, really.
All the things. And I will post
You're going to post some things.
trip pictures.
Oh, get a picture of our crew right now. 'cause
Oh,
some
yeah. I
people at home
promised you
wanna
guys
see
that I would show you what we see.
what we see, what our view is.
Hang on. I'm going to take a
They're all doing
video.
it. Okay.
All right. Hang on.
Okay, here we go. Ready, you guys? This is like meta. Is this meta?
So
that
that guy right there, that's Jay. He's our director, camera guy, all the things. That's Will. He does sound. It makes us sound so glorious. That's Melissa.
Hi, I'll be your host for the day.
You know her.
Hi.
I'm Amanda.
There she is.
Hi. And this is our set.
Hostess with the mostest. Wait, show all the cameras.
Oh,
we got our
there's
3
all
cameras.
the cameras and the
one
lights.
for me, one for Amanda, one
and
for that's if
flowers,
you're watching on YouTube.
Salem.
Yeah.
All of our stuff.
And now you guys can check it out on social.
Woohoo.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, crew.
Bye. Thanks, crew.